Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, we have a WIP Chat. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current WIP, WIP, which is work in progress. You can pull out whatever it is that you are working on. It could be a craft project. It could be a household project. It could be while you're doing chores, while you're driving around, while you're at work, while you're pretending to work, while you're actually avoiding work, whatever it is that you want to do. There is no right way or wrong way to WIP Chat. For this WIP Chat, I will be working on Dahlia from Lynn. It is a Diamond Art Club canvas. It seems like I've been working on this for weeks because I just haven't had time to sit down and work. So if you're like, wait a minute, didn't you do this last week and the week before? Yes, I did. But anyway, if you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and other crafting related content. I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming back and hanging out. There's definitely something on my tray. So I had a very, very busy week. My main goal here is to try and get as much as possible in this WIP Chat. There is a very distinct possibility I will need to split this into two parts. So we shall see. Also, I am almost done this section here, so I will more than likely have to flip my canvas before I'm done recording. Also fun. I wanted to film a boatload of stuff last week, and I got none of it accomplished. When I tell you guys it's been chaotic, it's been chaotic. I don't know why I'm singing. I am filming this at night, but my tiny human is very much awake. If you guys ever have any questions, I've mentioned this before, about any of the pens that I am using, I don't ever list them down below because I just cycle through so many, but if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below or send me a DM or whatever it is that you want to do, and I will let you know in a timely manner what I'm using. This current one here is from Kevin over at Kevin's Creations. This is actually my Cheshire Cat pen. I just used this to film a reel because it matched what I was filming. Anyway, if you guys didn't know, Kevin is donating a portion of all of his proceeds for the month of July 2022. So if you're watching this in the future, hey, to Coping with Laryngomalacia. If you guys are new here and you don't know anything about this, my daughter was diagnosed with an airway disorder when she was born called Laryngomalacia. It's a super long word. I'll spell it out on the screen here for you. It just means she was born with a soft, floppy larynx, and I put together a really big, small shop fundraiser, and Kevin has hopped on board. So if you guys are looking to make a purchase from Kevin's shop, I would recommend this month doing so because a portion of your purchase will go to a fantastic nonprofit. Part of what I'll talk about in this WIP Chat will have to do with that because July 10th was World Airway Disorders Day. But if I have to, I don't know if I'm going to, but if I have to, I might split this into two videos, so keep your eyeballs peeled. So Monday was the 4th of July. Last Monday, I guess. I'm late per usual. Not per usual. I'm late again on my WIP Chat. Part of me has thought about maybe I should film them Saturday so that I have them ready to go Monday. But then it kind of throws off my whole flow of like what I record, when I record, how I record it. You know, so I don't know. But anyway, it was the 4th of July, and I wasn't down for like celebrating America's freedom. I talked about this in my last WIP Chat, which if you haven't seen that one, I will link that for you guys up in the eye. Totally didn't mean to give you the finger. But I walked around downtown Harrisburg for a food truck festival with my husband and my daughter in my Pro Row t-shirt. So if that's something you have a problem with, you can just see later. It's cool with me. I think by now, unless you're brand new, you probably know where I stand on a lot of things, and You know, we don't have to agree on some things in this world, but there's a difference between saying, I don't like raisins and you like raisins, let's be friends, versus I'm okay with human rights being violated. That's not a matter of opinion. So if that is something that bothers you, thank you so much for coming to hang out. I'm sure it was fun while it lasted. But anyway, so we went down to City Island. And last year they had it, and it was on City Island itself and not downtown Harrisburg, which I know means nothing to you if you're not from the area. But City Island is an area. It is downtown Harrisburg. Where did that one spot go? And they have a minor league baseball team, and they have like a train that runs, and riverboat cruises, and you know, a bunch of cool stuff. Great. Well, we got there, we parked, we're walking around. I'm like, what am I missing? Where are all the trucks? There were supposed to be 45 trucks, I think. Turns out they were across the river. Like, just had to walk over the little bridge, and there it was. Well, I didn't know that, and I felt like an idiot. There we go. I know I had this color. But anyway, my husband and I walked up and down the streets with my daughter. We went over to the, that does not belong there, to the, my daughter wanted to get her face painted. We got orangeade. Love orangeade. There was some good orangeade. We waited in line, no joke, for an hour for my kid to get her face painted. And it was the most, like, lowbrow face painting I've ever seen. Now, I'm sure this woman was exasperated and exhausted and kind of over it, because she kept, like, shutting off the line and saying, the people in the white shirt, they're the last ones I'm taking. It was completely free. I'm sure a lot of families were not tipping her. We did tip her because, you know, it was the right thing to do. But like, she had random photos of kids with face paint on, and that was it. Like, there was no, this is what I offer. So I was like, I forget what Briar wanted, a unicorn, a princess, something. And she goes, I can't do that. And I go, okay. And so we had a discussion, and the backup thing she wanted was, a cat. So this woman, like, put, like, the little carrots above the eyeballs, and some blush and some whiskers, and that was it. And I was like, she used, like, actual makeup. So, you know, it was interesting, but it was funny because Briar was playing in the dirt with a bunch of kids. I'm trying to organize a little bit here. And there was a little girl behind us who was very, very sweet, and the two of them were playing together for quite a while. And then her mom was like, we have to go. And so they waited all this time, and they were so close to the front of the line when they left. But Briar just decided to play in the dirt with a bunch of kids, which I'm sure the other parents were super thrilled that my kid was encouraging kids to be in the dirt. But, you know, kids, they like dirt, they like rocks, they like stones. My daughter found a piece of glass, which made me super thrilled as a parent. Trying to figure out, so do you ever just, I know I call myself a free range diamond painter. If you guys don't know what that means, like, I don't work on small portioned areas. I just kind of peel the canvas and I go. Great, works for me, you know. And I know there are some people out there who they have to have very specific sections, and you know, whatever works for you works for you. There, like I said earlier, there's no right way or wrong way to WIP and Chat. There's no right way or wrong way to diamond paint either. We all have our preferences and what we like better, but there was a point to this. No, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Oh, so I was doing, like, up to this section here, like, in her face, and then I just shifted the canvas down a little bit more, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm clearly working on more. This section here with the plastic canvas is the only thing I have left to do other than this small area right here. So when I'm done this section here, I will flip the canvas. Fingers crossed. But anyway, we walked, I don't even know how many miles we ended up walking that day, My husband and I, like, my feet were on fire, and not because, like, I couldn't keep going. I was wearing newer sandals that I thought were better broken in than they were, and I ended up with the biggest blisters I've ever seen in my life. And it was one of those things that as soon as those shoes came off, I knew they weren't going back on, you know? You know this feeling? You're like, well, that's it. Thanks, feet. I appreciate you. So I ended up going to Walmart later that night to get some, like, Epsom salt and just soak my poor feet. But it's funny, Briar's like, my feet don't hurt. And I was like, yeah, girl, you were in the stroller. Mommy and Daddy pushed you around. We were the ones walking you, you know, because she was ready to go at one point. It was funny. She's like, all right, I all done. And I was like, what do you mean you're all done? She's like, I'm done. I ate my food. It's time to go. And I'm like, no. Mommy and Daddy hadn't eaten anything. She had already had lunch, a dessert, a drink, and gotten her face painted. I was like, nope, Mommy and Daddy haven't gotten a single bite to eat other than sipping some of that orangeade. But we walked and walked and walked. And if anybody out there has any good fitness tracker recommendations, I've got one on my phone, but my husband and I were thinking for Disney, it might be smart to have one that can, like, actually read, like, your heart rate and your, like, pulse ox stuff. If I don't want to spend a boatload of money, you know, let's grab you. For me thinking I have all the colors out on my desk, I clearly don't. I just keep grabbing more. Where did that other one go? But I am, as Knox would say, an agent of chaos. I have crap everywhere on my desk right now. Chaos. And I know that gives some people, like, major anxiety if they see, like, that many well, thanks, pen. Just grab the tip right out. There we go. Well, it just threw me for a little bit of a loop. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea to have this much crap on their desk. So, just trying to concentrate. You know, I don't care that much. I don't want to say I don't care. But I don't care that much about, like, how straight my lines are or the spacing. Because, first of all, on a poured glue canvas, I learned this from Mrs. Coffee. Eventually, the glue, once it has all the drills on it, will start to tighten and it'll bring the drills together. That, and also, I don't expect anyone to be looking at my work up close and personal. So, you know, but I do like to try to make the edges as straight as I can so that it just looks nicer when I fill in everything around it. Does that make sense? Hopefully that made sense. Anyway. But yeah, we had a really nice time just, like, wandering the city, and it was super, super hot. We originally had debated, there was a minor league baseball game in the same area. Depending on how our day went, we were thinking about staying for that. Oh, shh. I'm okay. I okay, as Briar would say. I just knocked over one single drill, not too bad. Ooh, don't mind that. And we decided, you know what, let's just go home. It's hot, we're tired, and thank God we did, because later that evening there was what was initially reported as gunfire in the area. It turned out it was not. But a huge fight broke out, chaos everywhere, and I am so glad that we were not a part of that, because that's incredibly traumatic, especially with a small child. So, yeah, it was quite an interesting day, but we had a good day. Like I said, I wasn't there to be like, yay, America, because, you know. What else do we do? That was it. I like how I'm like, what else did we do? That was a long, busy day. We saw so many dogs, and my daughter was so excited. And not a lot of events you know, that she's attending in her life are full of dogs. So she was like, yay, doggies. But then Tuesday, we had no ice skating. They were off because of the 4th of July. So our rink, we've noticed this. They have learn to skate programs a couple days a week. But if any of those days of the week are a holiday, every learn to skate that week is canceled. So like Memorial Day, for example, that's on a Monday. So that class, the Tuesday class, the Friday, Saturday, whatever the other classes are, they all got canceled. Which is a little bit frustrating because whoever runs the social media for them, I'm like, they keep putting up the calendar for the rink, but they don't include the learn to skate on there. So I'm always like, do we not have class this week? And then I look on the website and I'm like, oh, we do have class this week. That's just a small parenting tangent, you know. But we ended up at toddler time at the trampoline park. The only time toddler time happens is when my kiddo is either at ice skating or at swimming. So for us, it's not something we really get to do, but because they've canceled our session a few times now, it's worked out in her favor and she's been able to go a couple times this summer. So that's fun. She enjoys it. You know, sometimes this tip drives me crazy. Hot tip. Just kidding. There's nothing hot about it. It is a everlasting four-placer. And I have days where I like it a lot and other days where I'm like, oh my god, this tip is so frustrating. Anyway. But it looks pretty. I'm sure you guys are getting the glare from the, damn it. What is all over my canvas from my, light pad? I'm sorry. I've been really struggling lately. Like, really bad. God damn it. Alright. Piece of blue drill. I don't know where you went, but hopefully you didn't stick somewhere else. With, like, word recall. Like, really struggling. The point that, like, my daughter has started, in a very innocent way, like, mocking me. She doesn't understand that, like, that hurts mommy's feelings. Because, like, mommy is legit struggling. But she doesn't understand that because she's 4. And, you know, I do tell her, like, that hurts mommy's feelings when you do that. But she just thinks it's funny because, I'll be like, you know, and I'll explain the word. And, like, sometimes my husband knows what I'm talking about right away. But other times I'm like, I don't know. So that's fun. Total tangents here, you guys. If you're new, it's always like this here. I'm a hot mess. I never have a clue as what's going on for real. But I just looked at my timer and I'm like, holy crap, I've been working for a half hour already? No. I've been up here for a half hour, but I haven't been on here for a half hour. Anyway, so after toddler time, I had said to my husband, there's somewhere in particular that I would like to go for lunch, if that's okay with you. And he's like, okay, where do you want to go? So there's this, like, crab place. We tried going one day, but it was crazy busy. I think we were trying to go for Mother's Day, or near Mother's Day. And it's one of those, like, crab boil places, like a Joe's Crab Shack kind of thing. I love, like, give me a steam pot full of, like, crab legs and things like that, and I am in heaven. And apparently my daughter has discovered her love of crab. So we ordered our meal, she ordered her meal, and then she goes to the waitress. And I'd like a whole crab on the side, please. And she was dead serious. And I was like, excuse me? She's like, I'd like a whole crab on the side, please. I'm like, you are not getting a whole crab. But I want one. He's getting upset because mommy's not letting her have a whole crab. No, she just, I think, yeah, she thinks crabs are really cute, but she also thinks they're delicious, but, like, she doesn't understand a whole crab is a lot of work. So we told her, we'll take you down to Baltimore before the season ends, because Baltimore is a good place for us to get whole crabs. And she was just a hoot, because, like, she just really was excited. So I got crab legs, and she was trying to steal mine. At one point, she's like, Mommy, I'm going to take your last one. No, you're not. You are certainly not stealing my last crab leg. Little miss, I ate almost none of my chicken fingers that I asked for. She's so funny. And it's crazy because this place is down the street from ice skating, but they don't open until noon. So we've never been able to go, like, during the day, which is definitely the time to go because nobody's really getting steam pots. If you guys are hearing that in the background, that's my husband's power tools and whatnot. I should also mention, if you guys are hearing a really loud whirring sound, like, well, I have a giant box fan on high speed, like probably 15 feet to my left. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit you guys. But it was so funny. She was so silly. And then later on in the day, my husband wasn't feeling well, so I took Briar to pick up. There is a mackerel shop near us, like real. I mean, I can't tell you if they're authentic French or not, but they're delicious, and she just opened a second location, so I'm super proud of her. But I picked those up for us, and then my husband was like, I'm just gonna sleep, I really don't feel well. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take Briar to get some dinner. So she was like, I want noodles. And I was like, what kind of noodles do you want for dinner? Like, do you want, like, noodles with red sauce, or do you want, like, Asian style noodles? And she's like, Asian. She really likes lo mein. And there is not a sit-down Chinese restaurant near us, and I wasn't really trying to pick up Chinese to go, driving across town to pick it up, and then coming home and eating it with her, with my husband not feeling well and all that stuff. So I was like, all right. And I'm looking, and, like, the other closest place is, like, in Harrisburg. And I was like, I don't want to drive that far with her for, like, just some dinner. Which, if it was a little bit earlier in the day, maybe, but... So we ended up at a place that sells sushi, and in my opinion, their sushi is meh at best. But God forbid, you ask people around here, and they're like, it's amazing. And I'm like, it is not amazing. Like, they do not use quality fish. But anyway, we went, and she got her California roll, and then she was super nosy, like, trying to be all up in everyone's business. And I was like, dude, you got... The rule of thumb is butts in seats. She does not care for that rule of thumb. The problem is, she'll want to sit, like, if she's sitting next to Mommy at dinner, she'll then want to get out and then go sit next to Daddy, and then get out and go sit next to Mommy, then climb under the table and go sit next, and I'm like, no, butts in seats. It's easier for me to keep track of you when you are in one place, figure, but also, like, I don't need you... There's a hole. Yep. You ever have that? You're like, oh, there's a trash drill, and then you drop it right back in your drills? Or is that just me? So, overall, I was super annoyed. And then the lady at the table next to me, she was with, I would say, like, a college-age student. And I don't know if that was his mother or not, but she was like, looks like you hit the mother jackpot. And I wanted to just turn and look at her and be like, if that's a dig at me and my parenting ability, like, I'm sorry that your son or grandson or whoever's kid this is well behaved, but he is quite literally 4 to 5 times the age of my child. Like, it is very frustrating when people make comments, especially about situations they know nothing about. Like, I remember when my husband and I, like, I've said this before, you're the best parent in the world before you have kids. I will never let my kid have a meltdown like that in a store. I would never allow my child to do this. Now my kid's having a massive temper tantrum. You're going to have it? You want to lay on the floor? All right, knock yourself out. Don't be destructive. Like, we went to Walmart and there was a kid licking the walls. And I was like, you know. And now I wouldn't be surprised if my kid was like, hey, I'm going to try to lick that. I would not allow her to lick a wall because Walmarts are gross. But I wouldn't be surprised if she tried. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, friends? Anyway, so, we were done dinner, and I was getting everything together, and she literally ran again. I'm like, God damn it. I don't know if I've talked about this on here, but my kid is seemingly really lacking in terms of, like, safety awareness. You put her down in the parking lot, like, you get her out of the car seat, and she wants to bolt. You put her, like, we've been in stores where she tries to run out the stores, and I tried to ask in my local mom group, you know, if that was typical for kids her age or not. Like, I don't know what's considered normal and what's not. And I'm not trying to compare my kid to other kids, but if my only comparison is, like, her one friend or two friends, you know, that's not a really big, like, population. And it just, the one woman was like, make sure you have a harness on your kid, which, FYI, we have a harness. We've had it for quite a few years. That doesn't help me if she's sitting at a table in a restaurant. I'm not strapping my kid to the table. But it was very, very frustrating. I'm actually going to pause here so I can... No, I'm not. Should I flip the canvas now? Yeah, let me flip the canvas. I'll be right back. Hi, everybody. I'm back. So, actually just filled this color up, and I feel like I'm not going to be using it now. So, off over here you go. All right, you guys, last section. Like I said, go big or go home with me. Sorry. Whoop. Oh, I almost just spilled an entire container of drills. You guys, this is crazy. All right. This is a random minder. I don't even know where this came from. This is what I've been using. All right. So where are we at? Where are we at? We were on crab dinner. Oh, Wednesday we went to Kinder Music. You guys, I'm really sad because this week is my kid's last Kinder Music. This one drill is really sharp. Into the trash you go. Anybody else like that? You like place them and then like later you're like, that doesn't feel right there. So, where are we at? Where did I put my timer? Over here. You guys, I'm losing my mind. So, anyway, Wednesday we did Kinder Music. And then we did our usual, which ends up most of the time being a Dunkin' run and then going to grab some lunch down the street. It just works out for us. Actually, I am so not organized today. It's crazy. I don't know why I just poured it out that way. I have a weird, awkward hole here. This is my last bag of 310. Let's hope it's enough. I'm sure it is. I don't know why I just said that. I'm sure it is. So anyway, we did Kinder Music, lunch. I think Wednesday was a pretty uneventful day. I'm trying to turn my page of notes here. Oh, I lied. It wasn't that uneventful. It was like kind of crappy weather-wise, and I said to my husband, like, do you want to take her to the movies today? Briar has been to the theater to see 2 movies in her life. She has seen the Paw Patrol movie. That was the very first movie she saw in theaters. And then the next thing she saw was Sing 2. Never saw Sing 1. You don't really need to. You can figure it out. Sorry, I'm just getting out. There's a couple of these round 310s in this. Like, in these drills. Sorry, when I tell you guys I've been struggling, like, I feel like maybe I should probably bring it up with my doctor, the amount of, like, word recall I'm struggling with. Because, like, at first I thought it was like, oh, yeah, that's real, I'll be fine. But, like, it doesn't seem to be going away. And that sucks. But anyway, we went and saw the Minion movie in theaters. And my kiddo, like, a few minutes into it was like, no, I'm done. I don't like this. And we were like, well, that's not really an option, kid. We didn't pay for this and pay for all the food and pay for all the stuff for you to not want to do it. I think what happened was she got scared by the one scene and then was kind of like overwhelmed and I don't want to do it anymore. She ended up giving it a chance and she really enjoyed the movie after all was said and done. But in the moment, I think she was totally freaked out, and I think that's why we got the reaction we got from her. Which is understandable, but, you know, we've had a couple situations with movies that we watch at home where she very quickly makes it known that, like, I'm not into this. And then later, as she gets a little bit older, she gives it another shot and is like, I actually do really like this. And we're like, yeah, we figured as much. Why is there a giant chunk of yellow resin in there? So, and then anyway, afterwards, we decided to just grab dinner. There's a bowling alley, like, literally down the street. And we just grabbed some food from there because we weren't super hungry, but it was already getting late. And so even if we went home and tried to make something, unless we gave her something, like, instant, like a mac and cheese cup, dinner would still be a while. So we just got something little. My husband and I each ordered, like, appetizers for dinner. And she just had a little, I don't even remember what she had. But it was a fun time. And when she's on her A game, she's so much fun to be around. And, like, she was so into it. And she liked the music and all that stuff. And once we got that version of her, it was quite enjoyable. And, you know, of course we don't always get those versions of our kids. But the next day, we went swimming. And she wanted to change on the girls' deck. Now, in defense, the week before, I had something I could throw over her swimsuit to wiggle the swimsuit off underneath, because she has a composting toilet that was there when she moved in. She, like, has it roped off. She's like, this is disgusting. I don't want to use this, but it gives my families a chance to change if they need to, which is great. I don't mind my kid going in a swimsuit, but I don't want her to leave in a swimsuit, especially because, like, we don't live around the corner and we're not just going home usually. So, she tried to, like, get naked on this woman's porch. And I was like, Briar, you can't do that. Like, she's got her own kids. There's people always, we seem to be there on whatever day they do lawn day, or, like, lawn care day, unless they do it multiple days a week. But, we're always there when there's people working on the lawn. And then she had a towel around her waist, but her bathing suit was off. And she just wanted to, like, sit on this girl's chair, like, bare butt. I was like, girl, you can't put your naked private parts on somebody else's chair. Well, why not? And I'm like, because they're your private parts. They're meant to be kept private. What? That's her new thing right now. What? Like, everything you say is the most shocking thing she's ever heard. Plus, it annoys her. So she's like, what? All day. Briar, can you grab me that? What? Briar, did you see that dog outside? What? Like, sorry if anybody has earbuds in right now. They're probably like, my poor eardrums. Which, speaking of which, I have an ENT appointment this week, you guys. I'm like a real grown-up. Woo! But anyway, we went and got the real Taco Bell for lunch, which is something that you're going to have to remember for later in this day. We went there, and I'm trying to remember what else we did. Oh. So, we went there, and then she kept talking about, like, do you guys think we could go to Chocolate World later? And we were like, what? And she's like, Mommy, you want to go to Chocolate World. And she made it seem like we were doing her a favor by agreeing to go to Chocolate World. If you guys don't know what Chocolate World is, it is a portion of Hershey Park where they do the factory tour. It's completely free parking, free entry. There are some paid attractions while you're there, but it's a free thing. And we as locals go quite regularly. However, going during the season, like when the park is open, is never a good idea. But we drove by. It didn't look too busy. We got in the parking lot, and it looked like a lot of cars. However, there were a lot of spots open by the front. So we did that. And then afterwards, we were like, man, I don't really want to get, like, real dinner. So Brian's like, how about we get Taco Bell for dinner? And Briar deadpan goes, we can't have Taco Bell for dinner. And we're like, why is that, Briar? And she's like, because we had the real Taco Bell for lunch. The real Taco Bell, if you guys are new here, or you haven't heard me talk about this before, is our favorite Mexican restaurant. It is not called the real Taco Bell. She calls it the real Taco Bell. It is an authentic Mexican restaurant as opposed to, like, fast food Mexican. It is our jam. We go there. We enjoy it. She enjoys it, obviously. But it was funny because she was, like, dead set on, like, well, I can't have Taco Bell for dinner because we had real Taco Bell for lunch. And I'm like, first of all, you wouldn't even be ordering the same thing. Yeah, she did. She ended up getting McDonald's for dinner.
About Greenie.
Oh my god, I forgot to talk about Greenie. You're right. So when we went to the movies, my daughter got a box of Sour Patch Kids. And she attached all of her emotion to one single green Sour Patch Kid who she aptly named Greenie. And Greenie came with us to dinner. She wanted Greenie to come sleep with her. And I was like, Greenie's going to attract ants. Greenie's not going to sleep with us. Meanwhile, me being the good mom that I am, was like scouring the internet to see if I could find a green plush for Sour Patch Kids, because they do make plushes. Apparently not a green one, though. And my husband was like, how much do you want to bet? She doesn't even mention it in the morning. I go, no way. It's going to be the first thing she says. Didn't say a peep. I'm like, God damn it. But it was funny because she, like, wanted to hug Greenie. Greenie had to go with her. Greenie had to be her new best friend. Greenie this, Greenie that. And I'm like, it's legit a piece of candy, kid. But that's how Briar rolls, my friends. That's how she rolls. So, I feel like, because I know I have a lot to talk about, I've been flying through this week. So maybe I can slow it down to a normal pace. How are you guys doing? Let me not be rude for a moment. How are you all doing? I hope that you guys are all doing well. I know, at least for us in the Northern Hemisphere, it is summertime right now, and it feels like it's never ending for our family, and I'm sure it's like that for a lot of other people. Family vacations, summer camp, different activities, you know, we're busy all the time, but it just feels like this summer we've been extra busy, and I don't know why. Because I don't feel like we're doing, like, an excessive amount compared to what we normally do on a regular, non-summer week. Come on. You ever just keep stabbing at your drill until you can pick it up? I just realized I'm totally out of frame. Let's see. There we go. Hey, guys. I hope that didn't make you dizzy. So I'm down here working in the corner of the flower. It's pretty. So, where was I? Friday. Okay. So, Friday was a hard day. I'm just going to start by saying that. I don't know what you are. You might be wax. Hello, yellow shard. And by the way, if you guys have been around and you're like, girl, you've been promising us all these videos and you've been slacking, I sure have. Part of that is that sometimes when we do really a lot of things, I don't have the mental or physical energy to sit and film a bunch of things. But also when we have hard days, like the next day I'm going to talk about, it takes so much out of me. And I am one of those people that I recharge by sleeping, and I also hide from my emotions by sleeping. I can't get any sadder if I'm sleeping. You know what I mean? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And if you don't, like, I'm really happy that you don't know what that feels like. But here at the Hot Mess Express, my station, I definitely do. So, Friday, my daughter had been asking to go back to the play place for a while. So my husband decided we should take her there and booked us a spot. And we went, and she was having a really great time. We got there, and she immediately found these 2 girls. They were a little bit older than her. I would say they were probably like 2-3 years older than her, but they all were like, yeah, come play. And so like the 3 girls running off. Every time my kid is there, the first thing she does is look for the cat carrier or the animal carrier and put the toy cats in it. And I saw her go up to a kid, and she had a real shit attitude on her face. And I was like, did she just take this from you? And the little girl looked at me, and I go, you're not in trouble, sweetheart. I just want to know if my daughter took this from you. And Briar's like, nothing, which is the new thing right now. If I go, Briar, what's wrong? Nothing, which if you are a woman or your partner is a woman, you know that when a woman says, I'm fine, that she's not fine. My daughter, I fine, nothing. Something is bothering you, kid, and I don't know why you're not telling me. But the more she keeps telling me nothing, and it's okay, mommy, it's okay, no, it's okay, like, makes me more and more concerned. But then eventually I'm going to just stop asking because you're just not going to tell me. And then she's going to start to internalize all those emotions. Anyway, so they were playing. They were having a really good time. She was having a picnic with play food under the one structure. And it was funny because, like, the girls were just going back and forth, like, into the food area. It's all play food, not, like, real food. And bringing lunch over or whatever they had for their picnic. Again, none of this is real. It's all play pretend food. And she was having a really wonderful time. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned this before. My kid struggles with transitioning out of one thing to another. And like every child who is enjoying whatever it is they're doing, does not like being told it's time to go. I'm hesitating a little bit because I don't know if I want to share all of this. But I feel like I should because I know there are going to be people out here who are going to hear this and they're 100% going to judge my husband and I as parents. And, you know, you guys can do whatever it is that you want to do. But don't forget, if you're judging us, then that means you guys must be perfect. So, I had let her know, you have 5 minutes, and when you are done, we are going to go potty, and then we are going to go get lunch. My husband and I wanted to go, there's an Indian buffet that only does a lunch buffet on Fridays. The rest of the time, they're just like a regular sit-down restaurant, or takeout, or whatever. And we've never eaten inside, we've only had delivery, or takeout, and we couldn't do it another week because we had something else going on. This is the perfect storm. So I give her notice, you have 5 minutes, and then you have 2 minutes, okay, and 1 minute, then the alarm went off. I let her turn off the alarm. I do all of the tricks, by the way, that all of the people, air quotes, tell you to do. You set the timer, you let her set the timer, you let her turn off the timer, you give her notice, things like that. So, she seemingly transitioned from that really well and said goodbye to her friends, and off to the bathroom we went. Once inside the bathroom, she realized, oh my gosh, we're going to leave. So if I don't go potty, I don't have to leave. However, these are timed tickets, okay? So if it's dead, you can stay longer. Nobody's going to tell you otherwise, but we didn't want to stay any longer because it was lunchtime, and that's not the point. So I'm in the bathroom with my daughter, and this turns into a 20-minute, almost 25-minute fiasco of her screaming bloody murder at the top of her lungs about how she does not have to go potty. She doesn't have to go, which, spoiler alert, she has to go. And that's not even part of the conversation. She knows the rules. When we leave a place like this, we always go potty, or at least sit and try. And the main reason is because if we leave a place like that and we don't enforce her to use the potty, immediately after she gets put into her car seat, Mommy, I have to go potty. Like, are you kidding me? Why didn't you tell me while we were inside? So she is sitting in the bathroom. Her and I are in the handicap stall, which I have my own thoughts on, but she is screaming. Like, not yelling, screaming. She is smashing her feet against the toilet. She's trying to kick me. She's banging on the toilet paper dispenser. She's hitting the bar. She's screaming over and over and over again how much she hates me. She loves Daddy. She doesn't like Mommy. She doesn't have to go to the bathroom. And then I'm like, Briar, you have to go potty and we have to leave. Like, this is not something up for negotiation. Then she starts hitting herself over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh my God, Briar, just stop. And it's really frustrating watching the level my kid is going to not go to the bathroom because she just wants to say. And I know everybody in this place can hear my kid. I know everybody that's there can hear her. And she's screaming for my husband because she thinks he's going to be nicer to her in that moment than I was. I think she thinks if I can get Daddy in here, then Daddy's not going to make me go potty, which, like, that wasn't going to happen. And I explained, Daddy can't come in here. This is the ladies' room. And then eventually I was like, whatever. Go ahead, try. And she is so aggressively trying to hurt herself. And I'm trying to stop her from hurting herself. And it's just like, it shouldn't be this hard. Parenting is hard. And I'm not sitting here, like, complaining because parenting is hard. But, like, these are things that people don't tell you about. That, like, yeah, those moments are really beautiful when they're beautiful. But, like, when they're not, they're really fucking hard. And my kid will do anything in her power to stay in control of the potty training stuff, which is why my kid is not fully potty trained at 4.5 years old. And I'm running out of things. The OT has no more suggestions, and she is just screaming and crying, and my husband went in there. I don't know how he convinced her to finally pee. And then we were like, we're just gonna go. We're done. We're not doing this. So we ended up just picking up, like, a piece of pizza on the way home. And you guys, I can't even begin to tell you in those moments how hard that was. And I would be lying if I said, like, this is the first time she's ever behaved like this. But when she got out of the bathroom, she was quite shocked to see that none of her friends were still there. And I was like, Briar, everybody left. But also, everybody heard her screaming. And I think if you have a small child with you, I think that's a little scary when they hear a bigger kid just screaming at the top of their lungs and they don't know why. I know, like, when I hurt myself and I cry, Briar gets, like, worried, you know? So, it was really hard. It was really, really hard. And I wanted to try to reset the night. I said to my husband, I cannot for the life of me find my daughter's one pair of denim shorts that she has. We do rep for a denim company, and the shorts that we have are actually pants that they cut, which is fine. I don't really care how they do it, but I can't find them. And also with her going to school, I do need, another pair of shorts. So I was like, well, let's head up to Target and we can check out Cat and Jack, because I know people love their clothing. And I've gotten things from the brand before, just never denim. So, if you guys did not know, Briar is tall and skinny and has the tiniest waist. The tiniest waist. So, I grab, no exaggeration, 12 pairs of shorts. I grab a couple from the boys section, a couple from the girls section, and then each one of those in multiple sizes. And then I sent my husband back to go find another pair for me. So I know I've talked about before on my channel many times how I have an issue with like gendering of toys. I have an issue with toddler clothing for very prepubescent bodies being built differently for toddlers. I can understand when you get to bigger sizes that kids have different shapes to their bodies. But a 5-year-old does not have hips. I should say a typical 5-year-old. You know, there's always exceptions to the rules. And there are people who go through, it's called precocious puberty. Is that what it's called when it's like super, super early? I may have just made the name up, so don't quote me on that. But the little girl's jeans, the shorts, had drawstrings, which is fine for her to be able to undo them, but she can't tie a drawstring to tighten her pants back up, and she's too skinny to not have them tighten back up. So after trying on I don't know how many different girl styles in both a 3 and a 4T, I then tried a couple boys styles because they had the elastic adjustable waist. And then I found that they cut them much wider in the waist. Not even like the butt and the leg, yeah, too, but like the waist itself. The waist of a 4-year-old in a 4T should be the same whether it's boys or girls clothing. It should not dictate just because of what side of the store I bought it on. So I put on the 4T, literally drops on the floor. Put on the 3T, also massive. I made my husband go and look for a 2T. Because I was like, if these work, you know, it is what it is. And if you guys didn't know, my kid is 4.5. She'll be 5 in the fall. So I put her in the 2T, adjustable waist, as tight as it can go. And I can still fit an entire fist between her back. Like my whole fist between her back and the end of the elastic. And I was like, well, this is not going to work. So I was devastated because I just want a pair of shorts for her. And if you have a child, or if you yourself are, I'm going to just say oddly shaped for the sake of the conversation. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It is hard. Because, like, if I'm having this much trouble with shorts, which, who cares how long the length of the shorts are? They can be shortened, or they can be, like, they don't need to be long or short. It doesn't matter to me. But pants, if I put her in pants that fit her waist, they're, like, 4 inches too short. I can't put a 5-year-old in pants that are meant for kids significantly shorter than her. So it's very frustrating, but we were there and I had to let her know, like, we're going to try stuff on and you are not going to touch the tags. If you guys heard that story, it was a while ago, but I got her all these in case of emergency outfits from Walmart for our, like, if she has an accident kind of thing. And they were just super cheapy pieces from the Granimals line at Walmart. And it's exactly what I needed. Something that wasn't going to cost a lot of money, that can just be in the car just in case. And I don't even remember why I brought that up. Oh well. I'm sure when I'm watching this back to add my cards and stuff, I'm going to be like, damn it, Lindsay. That's what you were trying to say. But, it was tough. And, the next day, so I guess I'm going to end you guys on Saturday. I feel like there was more to that story with Target, but oh well. Oh, we got her backpack, for school, which, guys, I feel so overwhelmed and my kid hasn't even started school yet. But that's another story for another day. So anyway, Friday, my husband and I went back and forth on should we we were going to a World Airway Disorders meetup on Sunday. We already knew we were going, but it was a matter of, do we want to go up Saturday night and get a hotel? Ideally, I would have loved to have spent Sunday into Monday in the hotel instead, but that wasn't really an option for us because we had therapy at 9 in the morning on Monday, and I didn't really want to like leave at like 6 in the morning. So we decided on Saturday, okay, let's do it. So we were doing research for a couple days, and we found a hotel that was far enough away that we weren't being hit with like beach prices, but close enough that we weren't feeling like we were driving all over the state to get to where we needed to go. Okay. So we went and checked in to the Holiday Inn, and my daughter is freaking out about how beautiful this hotel is and how amazing it is. Guys, it's literally a Holiday Inn. It was not a high-end hotel. It was nothing fancy. Like, everything was white in the room, which always scares me, but I guess it's much easier to bleach all white than... I don't want to think about it. But we checked into the hotel. We went and got some dinner, like, down the street at some restaurant. And we stopped by Crumble Cookies. Have you guys ever had Crumble Cookies? That was my first Crumble experience. I enjoyed it. The chocolate chip was by far my favorite, but it is amazing to me. This apparently is a very new location. There's no signage inside. I don't know if this is typical of any other location because, like, I've never been, like I said. But there's literally no signage, no nothing. So I was like, I don't know the prices. I don't know how you do this. Like, I have no idea. And we ordered our cookies, and I was like, can we have one of each? And the guy's like, well, we're out of s'more. And I was like, okay. And so he's just staring at me, and I'm just staring at him like, okay, can we have one of each? And he goes, we're out of s'more. And I go, okay, can I get one of each of the ones that are here? And he goes, oh, well, you need a second of one of the other ones then. And I was like, oh, I guess they have some box that has 6 cookies. So we... signage, like... Nothing. And then it was like $24. I was like, holy crap, these are expensive cookies. They were delicious, but they were expensive. But we ended up going back to the hotel. My husband and daughter went in the pool. I was going to join them. I had my swimsuit on. I was sitting on the edge of the pool with them. Oops, sorry. Hit the camera. And he got in, and he is like, it is freezing. And I was like, well, then I don't think that I'm going to get in. Because there was no point in both of us going in and being absolutely freezing, and then her being freezing and needing to get out. And now, like, we're standing outside cold. There was no towels. There was some sort of, like, youth softball team. And I mean, like, maybe 10-year-olds. And, like, the one kid kept saying, do you guys have a key card to get back in? And we're like, yeah. She's like, can you let me in? And I'm like, sure. You know, her parents were just on the other side of the fence. But, I didn't get in. But on every other Saturday, my family does a family Zoom. And I was like, well, let's hop on real quick. They never see my daughter because my daughter, her bedtime is before the start time, whether she goes to sleep or not. And so they got to see my daughter for a little bit. And then we went up to the room. And I was like, all right, I'll find something on the TV for her. There was no Disney Channel. There was no Nickelodeon. Like, usually in a hotel, I can find at least something kid-friendly to watch. Nope. The only cartoon that was on any channel was King of the Hill. So she watched that for a little bit. And then my husband found some, like, vet show. And they were, what were they castrating? Llama? And she's asking him questions about castration. And he's like, you know, these aren't the conversations I really want to be having right now. Which, like, I get it. I wouldn't either. But it was 10 o'clock before we got her into bed. So when we travel, we usually get a room with 2 beds. We've tried doing it where, like, we put her on the sofa bed, she'll climb out of it and climb into bed with us. Now, she does not co-sleep with us at home. If you guys co-sleep with your kid, or you did when they were little, like, you guys are amazing. Like, it my husband and I sleep in a very tiny bed. It's never been an option. It's never been a desire for us. However, on vacation, we get 2 beds. And this is how it works out. Usually, she says she wants to sleep with one of us. And then the other one sleeps in a bed alone. And this time, she said, no, you and Daddy, you guys can share the bed. I'll sleep by myself. I'm like, okay, kiddo. And, whoo! Something just flew in my head. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry, did not mean to scream. Holy crap, that scared me. So, it's 10 o'clock at night. And by the way, our air conditioning in the room, every time it shut off, it sounded like a door closing. And I was like, well, this is going to be fun. So, she goes to get into bed. And she goes, Mommy. I go, yeah, Bean. I want to sleep with you tonight. I'm like, what? I thought you said Mommy could sleep with Daddy. No, I want to sleep with you tonight. Daddy can sleep by himself. I'm like, okay. I am one of those people, I sleep on a particular side of the bed. My husband's like, you can't let her sleep on the other side because it's right next to the air conditioner. She'll get too cold. So, I put her on my side of the bed. And then I grabbed her because she kept trying to wiggle away. And I grabbed her really close, and at one point she fell off the bed. But my husband said to me, he's like, she must have fallen asleep pretty quickly, because when I got out of the bathroom, she was asleep. I go, I don't think I was far behind her. He goes, you were also asleep when I came out of the bathroom. And I was like, oh, well, I'm guessing whatever was on my head just flew to you. Oh, there's one over here now. But I think that might be a good place for me to stop. I'm now rambling for far too long. But I will keep you guys posted on the rest of my trip and why we went to New Jersey and all of that stuff in next week's WIP Chat. I have a couple unboxings that I have to film that have to go up this week. So just keep your eyes peeled. I just want to finish this canvas so that I can post other stuff. Or I can film other stuff. Because it's easier than taking my whole desk apart, filming, and then putting it back together for this. So, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. Since I am working on a flower here, if you've made it all the way to the end, please leave me a flower emoji of whatever flower you desire. If you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content like this, or, you know, nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. 1 real life, 1 virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. Hit that notification bell. Oh, he's trying to kill a fly. Ding. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!